January 6, 2020 to order. Roll calls, Mr. Rich,
Present.
Mr. Venable,
Present.
Ms. Gilbert,
Present.
Mr. Sisk.
Present.
Next we'll have our prayer by Mr. Porter and our pledge by Ms. Gilbert.
Lord God, our Father in heaven, we're blessed. We're thankful for the year that we have had in 2019. We look forward to the year 2020. We pray for good things, for blessings on this county. We pray for good blessings on this nation. We are so divided right now. We just pray for your hand to be upon us all, that your hand will guide us as we go through our lives each and every day. Watch over us and guide us in Christ's name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next, we'll need to approve the agenda of the meeting.
I'll make that motion.
Got a motion
I'll second it.
and a second. All in favor say aye. All opposed? No awards or presentations, and we hadn't had anybody sign up to speak. Discussion items, number one be holiday shores. We have had this on the agenda in the past, but it has been brought to our attention by Marshall County that this actually, back in the 80s, was it 1980? 1980, it was approved through Marshall County to take that Holiday Shores in and agreed upon by Jackson County. For some reason, it never got followed through.
Now, this is not the complete community, it's not ours, it's just like a little 0.3 mile section of road or something like that?
Yes, it's just,
If you got a slide,
yeah, 60 acres.
Okay.
If Jonathan got a slide, you can put it up showing where the
Right.
holiday shore is.
Right, I don't think you got one, will you, do?
Holiday Shores is the community past McAllen's on the left. And most of it is in Marshall County already. I mean, technically, there's just, when you go back in there and weave around to the water, a part of Jackson County clips a corner.
60-acre block in there that's Marshall County, but it's here.
Mr. Porter?
the line that comes down here, then it's just a square over in Madison County. Or Marshall.
Shoreline for a ways and it comes in, it comes from.
Right.
We've had some issues with our sheriff's office.
You have to go into Marshall County to get back to it.
Absolutely.
So, in 1980, if I'm following you correctly, both counties were in agreement that
Yes.
that be part of Marshall County,
Right.
or now on the not only the road, but the property itself.
Right.
And it never got changed over,
But
No, and
Marshall
they-
County's
and-
been maintaining it, I believe.
so their
Yeah.
taxes
No.
have been assessed by Jackson County.
Okay.
Always been assessed by Jackson County, their taxes and
Yes.
stuff. No,
Yeah.
I don't know how many
Jackson County
residents we're
driver's
talking about,
license.
but
16, I think.
16 residents.
Was
How
it
many-
16 residents? I remember they was, I think it's 16 residents
Where are they paying the taxes at?
here.
Both.
Yeah, they're all, Yeah.
Jackson County.
Being paid here?
In that one section is Jackson County.
So if both county governments are still in agreement to do that, what do we need to do to make this a permanent thing, Mr. Porter? I'm sure we would have to have some type of public meeting or something to,
it's that little square right at the very bottom. Yeah, hey,
Mr. Chairman,
yes.
there's one lady over there that has two lots.
Mhm.
She pays half the taxes in Marshall, half the taxes in Jackson County.
That live in Holiday Shores.
houses built
Thank you,
on two
Mr.
different
Campbell.
lots?
No houses on the lot.
Okay, one lot's vacant, the other lot, okay.
It's just two lots she
Here's
purchased.
Marshall County line.
Yeah, she's probably outside of that. One of her lots is probably outside that box.
I just wanted to clarify, because Holiday Shores is a fairly good-sized community. When you say Holiday Shores, it's just a tiny little piece of it, which would cut down on them having to respond for that tiny piece.
We really don't.
You don't? Okay.
I mean, if they call, we do, but
No
we
issues?
call Marshall County.
Okay.
The kids that live in that area, they go to Marshall County schools.
Well, it seems to me, I need to look at this, but the only way I know to do it is with legislative act, to change boundary line.
Right.
So if both commissions are agreeable, then we can draft proper documentation for each commission to adopt, to get the legislature to do what they need to do.
Didn't you say the legislator already?
Would-
Yeah, and you already talked to the your legislators?
I have talked to my legislator.
Okay.
He's okay with it.
Okay.
I wanted to talk with y'all tonight to see, I mean, if y'all are against it, it's dead, I can't do nothing about it.
Right.
If y'all are agreeing to it, like the lawyer said, your senator here, and we'll get Schofield, and we'll get it, we can get it worked out like that.
I'm absolutely not against it, but I do feel like
We
we
need
should
to ask
give
the people that live there.
give the public that lives there an opportunity to speak on it. I would imagine if they're being,
Yeah.
serviced by Marshall County Police and their kids are attending Marshall County schools, they wouldn't want to vote in Marshall County, and if they're living in Jackson County, but I would like to give them an opportunity.
I agree with Jason, they need to say so.
Yeah, do we pick up garbage in that area from Jackson County? Anybody know?
I don't know.
Well, the public services, but I don't know if they service your part.
Right.
How was this stated before 1980? What did the records hold then?
It's always been in Jackson County.
Always.
Sir, I don't think that's correct. I'm told that
Been in Jackson County since
They're in
1937.
30s something.
1937.
my understanding was there was a legislator years and years and years ago that wanted it to be in Jackson County, and he had it changed where it went across. It's very strange.
It's very strange. It's very strange. How this happened, TBA, can I get,
Yeah, go ahead.
I made some copies, I don't know.
That's what I was wondering. I knew, 1980, there had to be some kind of procedures that went on before then, how it stood.
Give you that, you can kind of see. Yeah, right, that's TBA land right there, that's how they went across it. But 1980, somebody seen the problem that we're talking about today. And, the lawyer got you. But that little part of TVA, when it comes across, that's how they touched, and that's how they come off of it, so.
It's crazy.
I heard the same thing about that legislator back in the day,
Yeah.
switching it.
But
Yeah.
I went and talked to
She's still
TVA,
living?
and they pulled up their map back in 1937. Now, it could have been, but it was the way that it is today in 1937.
Right, yeah.
Yes,
So it's been like that a long time.
it's been like that a long time.
Okay.
Well, I think it just depends upon how you want to check with the citizens, if you want to set it for a work session and invite the public and have a public hearing on it or something like that.
If we can go to
However you
them,
want to do it.
it'd be better if we can
Did you
go to them.
find,
I don't know where you'd go down there.
I've got, I
He's-
talked to him at the golf course, and he said that's okay.
We got a
But I told him I'd let him know
Meeting or
date?
the golf course.
tonight.
Okay.
Tonight, I know 2 weeks from today is holiday. And y'all are wanting it after the work session, so I mean, it's whatever y'all wanna do, whatever y'all wanna have.
20th is the next work session, but that's Martin Luther King, so it'd be the 21st. We could try to have a work session there on the 21st.
And I'm just one commissioner. I mean, does everybody?
Well, I
Well,
just,
same.
I went ahead and just thought we would, I went ahead and assumed that we would have a, community meeting. I wouldn't want to do this without involving the community in it. So is everybody good with the 21st? Mr. Sis?
Yes, is that gonna give us enough time to to get the public there to know, the residents and all?
Well,
I
that's,
mean, that's.
2 week notice.
2
yes,
weeks.
2 weeks. And I've got the addresses. I just give Mr. Porter, we've got the address. We can all send them a notice.
Yeah, I just want to make sure they all get notified, and we need a little more discussion to.
You know, there's some on there that's got land but no house or nothing, so we got their physical address or mailing address, just send them one too.
Right.
You know, the ones that owns the land there without a residence.
A lot of them are just like summer vacation little spots too, I guess.
You said it's
A lot of them.
approximately 60 acres is what,
I'm going, that's,
it's more or less, kind of idea.
more or less, it's
Right.
not that big of a place, I'm gonna say 60.
Well, if everybody's good with the 21st, if you'll check and see if we can do the 21st at 6 o'clock. And then I'll have our office send out the notices tomorrow. That way, make sure everybody gets them in time. If you get with me tomorrow, or me and you can kind of coordinate the address and all that.
To him this afternoon, he drives a school bus.
Okay.
I talked to him this afternoon, and, at the school, and he said that's fine.
If you'll get with me tomorrow, and then me and you'll get together on the address. Okay. All right, so if everybody's good with that, we'll just go with the 21st at 6 o'clock for a community meeting.
And you're gonna have your work session down there.
Yes. Yeah, we'll just have our work session there, community meeting. Yeah. Next be safety coordinator resolution. Mr. Smith, you want to say anything about that, or?
County Risk is, advised us that any time to change safety coordinator, and this is for things passing, that have to have a resolution by the county commission, actually managing safety.
Okay. Mr. Porter, will you do that, or? This is, did you see the copy of it? Okay.
He said we just did this, we changed him from Mr. Ashburn to Felix, so.
If everybody's good, we'll put that on next week's meeting, and I'll have it ready. Next be the cleaning contract with Jackson County Park.
She done 3 months, and it's ran out, so we're doing those 6 months this time.
Okay.
Everything working out good with her, no issues?
There's a problem, she's
Okay, that's good. Nope.
Not about that.
Yeah.
I get plenty of complaints.
Any more discussion on cleaning contract?
So we're gonna make it 6 months, right?
Yes. If everybody's good with that, we'll put that on next week's meeting. Getting to know your county government. Mr. Venable.
In an attempt to be more open and transparent, I wanted us to start, maybe on the 2nd and 4th. That's when our, regular meetings are. They're a little shorter, and maybe after the meetings, we start with each department and go through that department's budget. Maybe do the revenue streams and the expenditures for each one, and some of them, we may have to do the expenditures on the 2nd and, the revenue streams on the 4th, or vice versa. But some of them, we might could do 2 in one night because they're small, but I just wanted to see what everybody thought about possibly doing that. Going through, sheriff's, public works, sanitation, everything, the park, courthouse maintenance, council on aging. May take us a few months to get through all of them, and then we'll finish up with, the county's general fund and cash balances and everything. 'Cause you hear a lot of rumors, folks say that, we're not being transparent. I don't know how we can be more transparent, and, I thought this would be a good way for anybody that's willing to sit down and watch those meetings, on YouTube or come to the meetings could get educated on, where their tax dollars are going.
I talk, a lot of folks, and they'll tell me, I don't see where y'all have a problem with money. Y'all look like y'all are doing real good, with the money that's bringing in. They have no idea the money that goes out. And everybody thinks we're just filthy rich.
I did talk to our IT guy, and he said that if we wanted to, that we do have the capabilities now of Facebook Live, and he can also be shooting the video, and then if we have a budget, he can also take that budget and put it up on the screen and split screen it so that people can actually look at the numbers, where the money's going. So I think that'd be the best way to get it out there to the community, where they can actually see how much money's coming in, where it's going out to.
Well, we need to get together, if everybody's in agreement of doing this, and make a schedule of who's going first. And I'd like to start it as soon as possible, because
Okay.
if we run too long into it, we get real busy with trying to get our budget cycle together, around late June, July. So I'd like to get it done and be completely finished with it before then, if possible.
Okay. If everybody would give us some thought, and then maybe by next week's meeting, we'll try to get a date set up, and I'll get everything lined up. Any more discussion on that? Anybody got any thoughts on it?
Sounds like a good idea to me.
I think it's something that should happen, because, just like Mr. Venable said, so many people don't realize where the money goes. And some of the money we have is in certain things cannot be used for other issues, and it kind of ties your hands. So, the public needs to be aware of really what's taking place, because it is their money that we're handling.
I just think when we start to do it too, that we don't quickly just skim through it and say, this is X number of dollars here, X number of dollars there. We need to explain some things that we may understand, like y'all kind of explained to us when we came on board, what actually account 010 means, where it is, what's covered in that. And just, if we're gonna take the time to explain it to people, then we just need to break it on down.
Yeah, I'd like
If they're
to-
interested, they'll watch. If they get bored, sorry.
I think the road department's gonna take the longest, because it's our biggest fund. I mean, as far as the amount of line items of where the money comes in and where it goes out, what we can use for, what we can't. And then the sheriff's department will be the second largest one, but, the rest of them, I think, will go pretty quick. Them should take some time.
There might be some,
Any
we
more?
might could do 2 in a night.
Yeah,
Maybe maintenance and somebody.
Yeah, the park would be one won't be that hard to do.
It's pretty
so.
much cut and dry,
Council on Aging.
yeah.
Council on Aging's got a lot of different funds that feed it, but, I mean, it'd be pretty simple, showing how much money comes in and where it goes out to. All right, you got any more, Mr. Reynolds?
That's all I have on that.
All right, next will be reports from staff. Mr. Campbell?
I would just like to thank all the folks involved with the emergency response effort during the storms. Paul and his team, Chief Deputy and Sheriff, your folks were out, I know, working. Public Works employees were out, signs, cutting trees. We had office staff making sure payroll continued on through the holidays and everybody got paid. So we have some fantastic people. I just wanted to mention appreciation for what they do and making sure everything is handled. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Porter?
I don't have anything.
Rocky?
And my understanding is that we get maybe 3 to 4 more inches of rain this weekend, is that correct?
We could be back in bad flood state by next month.
Mr. Nash, you got anything this evening?
No, sir, no.
Okay. All right, Mr. Sisk?
Yeah, I got a few things. We're starting off a new year, and I just like to say thanks for everybody, the progress that we seem to be moving forward. Our hands seem like we're tied with the money, but, our employees appreciate everything they do throughout the county. One thing I wanted to mention, Jonathan, I wanted to question and see where we're at on these highways, because I feel like the people have been very patient. I was at Bryant this past Saturday at a breakfast, and they are fixing to approach a year anniversary. 93, still nothing done, and they have been to us and addressed things. I wish you'd kind of explain and see what's going on. I tried to explain to them at FEMA, but they're looking at a little issue that it's not no big thing, and I can understand when you go down and look at it. I feel like our public works could probably take that project there and move forward with it. But as far as 17, I know we're looking at a totally different deal. And I told them, I said, hey, y'all welcome to come, be a part of it any time, but I said, I feel like you do. I said, I feel like I've kind of neglected you. I said, we have talked with them, we have met with them. I met with FEMA, with Jonathan also, myself, and I said, seemed like it's just a drawn out plan. But, if you would, Jonathan, just kind of give us a little heads up on what is being done, please.
So nothing's changed strategically, since the last time we, I guess, publicly talked or decided, which, those directions can change, from guidance of this body anytime. But the plan is still 17 first, which we did have 2 proposals in on that, and they're being evaluated currently. They are complex. I won't make any bones about that. One is basically a pile and lagging soil mill wall, and the other is a more complex system for that repair. So, both will require county involvement, one way more heavily. And so right now, we're still trying to understand the scope of all that's being proposed in one of those. And it's gonna take, construction easement considerations, borrow material consideration, and a place to discard material, consideration in one of the proposals. So the next stage in that is to have conversations with the geotech contractors that have sent us these proposals and understand their proposal as far as the, problem and what their solution is gonna do to fix it, to make sure we can properly, explain that to you guys and show the procedure. So hopefully we arrive, I feel confident that there's a solution in one of those 2 proposals that will fix this and fix it permanently. It's gonna be a bunch of work, and it's gonna be a bunch of work that the county has to do, basically either way it goes, particularly with one. Once we're underway with 17, the good news about a lot of county involvement is we're gonna get back those dollars less 20%, and we're gonna need that money to move on to the projects like County Road 93, what you're discussing. So, as far as I'm concerned, the plan hadn't changed. 17 is the one we're focused on now. Once we get that under our belt, then we plan to focus on one now, for the simple reason that it's very similar to 17, but it's also the only way up and down for those residents that live on top of 189. Then 93, then 38. So, I mean, I don't know if that answers your question, but that's the route that we have planned.
Well, I'll try to explain to them, and, like I said, they have been very patient, and we're looking at a year kind of started out like we had last year with erosion problems, and, from what I gathered, there was 2 houses that burnt to the ground out there, and, they could not save them. And another thing, one guy, he's had a chirp pit, and he said, it cost me a lot in my business. And he said, it's not only me. He said, the people, necessities, it's hurting them, as far as having to travel back around. And I know the 17, I talked to some people here this last weekend, and, they quite a few miles that they add up per week. So, is there anything we as commission board can do to push FEMA further? I mean, you've done your part.
It's not as much a FEMA issue as it is a financial issue. I mean, we have a limited number of employees and a limited number of equipment and a very limited amount of money. And that's why we've decided to take the course of action that we have, is do as much of it in-house as we can, because we can't afford to pay contractors to do the work. So we have to do 17 first, because we get our money back faster from 17. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong on any of this, but I don't, short of coming up with a new revenue source or additional dollars, I don't know how we could do anything any different than what we're doing. And the past rains we've had, the rains we have coming in this weekend, I just pray that we don't have any more to set on the back burner and hope that we can scrape together the money to fix.
So it's fairly complex just in general. It's unprecedented damage, number one. But like 17, if you think about the process we've gone through with 17, we first had to identify subsurface conditions to the best ability that we can. So that's where the geotech is involved. So if you think about the phases we went through on 17, once we identify that, then we have information to turn to the professionals on this on how to repair it, okay? So all that same process has still got to take place at these other locations. And we could go ahead and start that process, the geotech part, on some of those other locations mindful that, you know, we gotta pay for that. So, I think it's wise to be a step ahead when it comes to the next location, but I would really feel more comfortable if there's already revenue coming in from 17 before we turn and start shelling out for a large geotech professional service bill. Because when this next advertisement, the way I perceive that going is all of the remaining locations, okay? So when we solicit that proposal for professional service for that, we're gonna say, do whatever it takes to tell us what's underneath and what's going on 189. Do the same for 93 and the same for 38. And oh, by the way, on 38, do we need to move the road over here? So all of those things are probably gonna be the same person. The way I see this will all be determined by you guys, but that'll be the same person and that'll all be the same bill as it progresses. So, once we know the problem in those locations, then we can turn and solicit a solution. But right now, we don't even know enough about the problem underneath the ground to even get a realistic proposal on how to fix it, okay? So just thinking about the same process we went on 17, all that's gotta happen at each site, and then us get a proposal in, and then, you know, then we're dealing with FEMA. And just kinda as a for example, on the FEMA funding, it's not necessarily, I think, anything we can push on FEMA for, it's just the nature of the beast on their process. So we just received reimbursement on some of the projects, I think I mentioned that maybe the last meeting. Those projects we received reimbursement on, that's projects that we had complete by the time that it was even declared an emergency, okay? So if you think about from the time it was declared to the time it was obligated to the state, we got our money, that work was already done, right? So that waiting period, is what we could expect, had we done that work on, had we gone out ourselves, let's say, and just started working on these slides, and not knowing what subsurface conditions are, not knowing if we're going at it with the right fix or not, and got lucky maybe and fixed it permanently, then we would still been out all those costs a comparable amount of time to what we've experienced with the other projects till we receive reimbursement. So I mention all that because once the state is obligated to funds, and all these projects are in queue and have been waiting, they're getting reviews, environmental reviews, and they're doing their thing they have to do. Once the funds are obligated to the state, hey, we can go to work and we can expect our money. But until that point, we're in the time that we're in now where we're waiting for that.
I'd also like to make another point. Without the engineering and the core drilling and knowing what's taking place underground in these areas that are prone to slide, that have slid before and float before, we're assuming a large responsibility and liability if we go in there and just cosmetically fix these things and put a road surface back on it. I mean, it could slide on to an adjoining property, it could slide off and somebody come along and run off in it. We're assuming a large, and I'm just not willing to just go in there and cosmetically fix something personally. I think it needs to be fixed right when we fix it, where this issue doesn't come up again.
I think that's the largest misconception, that we're just sitting there in our road department, we just run down there and take a bulldozer and some dump trucks and fix it, when the truth is that we have to have these reports. We have certain laws that we have to go by, certain standards that we have to go by. We can't just go down there like a private entity and just throw a dozer on it. So I can assure the public that we're working as fast as we can work with the funds that we've got to work with. And I mean, there's not one road that I wouldn't want to fix today. If we could, and I don't think there's no commissioner up here that wouldn't. If we had the money to hire more people and more equipment, we'd put them out there and do
I've
it.
had several people to come to me and said, why don't you just take your dozer and do that and just grade it where we can go up through there. If I did that and the fire truck comes down there and with a load of water, guess what'll happen? It's gonna peel over to the side. You know, the responsibility, people just don't realize it, but, you know.
I think when we unveil these proposals for 17, it'll shed some light on the complexity of the sheer repair of what we're talking about. 17 has been an issue probably ever since there's been a road there, I would assume. So I think what we'll see is a fix that's permanent, and we won't have to worry about 17. So with all of this discomfort and weight and pain that we're going
Anything else on that?
Appreciate that, John.
Appreciate it, Jonathan.
Is that it, Mr. Sis? You got anything else?
No, I just wanted to bring it up because, I mean, when you live out there in that area and they feel like there's nothing been done, and, you know, that is just a small little project, it looks like. And, you know, I guess I look at these things and I can kind of see where they're coming from. And, you know, we've seen some major things like coming across 79 off Skyline. You know, they've come in and fixed it probably 15 times here in the last 30 years. And it's going to fall off right now, basically. And 4 Mile Post Road, you know, they opened it up here a few weeks ago. Now they slid off and they shut it back down. So it seems like, you know, even if you do go through the geotest and all them things, Mother Nature, when she calls, it takes over sometime. So
I know I've lived out there 51 years. How long have you lived out there?
Long time.
Tell us. So longer than that. But it's an inconvenience. It really is an inconvenience for some of the folks out there. And like I said, I've lived there all my life. I know it is, and I hate that inconvenience there. But they still have a good state route to go down. And you know, I actually drove it myself from the fire department down to 93 going on the state highway. Well, then if you go fire department back roads to 93 and go off a mountain, it's about 6 minutes different. So there is an inconvenience. And I want to get it fixed as fast as we can, but I don't think it's hindered any fire departments from putting fires out. Because I would think, I mean, based upon that timing, that a fire truck could move faster on the state highway on straightaway faster than they could that curvy road going off that mountain.
well, I drove down it there Saturday. I mean, the barricade's been moved, and you know they've been driving across it, and you know it's still where you can go across it.
Yeah, I know.
But you know, I'd like to see us. That's why I was just asking Jonathan. Oh, he's done all he could do, but I wondered if there's anything we could do to push it up some, because they're in need, and I don't feel like I've done anything to be of service to them if we can't push it, you know.
Mr. Barnes, I forgot you. Did you have anything else to say? Okay. Ms. Gilbert?
I had a couple questions for Mr. Campbell. When you were talking about on 17 discarding materials, would that be a temporary staging or a permanent place to put the materials that we dig out to get down to the core of the problem?
It's gonna be, unclassified excavation that will have to be wasted.
So
Assuming we go with wanted proposal.
I was just, those materials, if you given some thought, they would help in some other areas fill in on some of our other slides, was just a thought.
The primary goal of that will be finding a close proximity to that location where we can discard that material.
Okay.
It's gonna be a large amount of trucking if that's the route we go. A lot of material that will need to be disposed of.
And my other question was, or actually statement, was on the geotech on 93, 38, and 189. That is subject to change with the more rain we get, so we do need to wait till closer to time to do the actual work, right?
Possibly, and I'm just drawing from information I got from on site and being my own past experience. I think 189 is gonna be very similar to 17. I think it's karst activity, something along those lines. 93, possibly a combination of that, but more so traditional slide. And the same for 38, it's probably more of a traditional slide. But the slides, having said that, the slides will, if there's subsidence and there's a crack, and it's, in any experience, it's water infiltration, then yes, that can work. As far as the scope to fix it, I don't really think that changes the game of it, but, obviously water infiltrating something that's cracked open, it's not getting better.
Well, thank you for the information, and just wanted to say thank you. I've had nothing but praise from the public for y'all being out the other night, from the sheriff's department to Mr. EMS and
Paul.
you guys, Paul. Yeah, I was gonna say Mr., but Mr. Paul. And but anyway, have you guys out in all hours of the night in all kind of conditions. Thank you very much, and nothing but praise. People have been. They were out here. They got it out of the way. They were out here. They fixed it. They were out here. The signs were up. my teenager was safe. Thank you very much.
Thank you for saying that. I'll make sure they know the folks that are out there doing this. Thank you.
Mr. Venable?
I think we've covered everything pretty good. As everybody have a happy new year since it's the first meeting of the new year.
Mr. Rich?
I just want to add to the, out there on the road 93, I went out there about a month ago, and somebody in that sharp curve has dumped, I bet you, 2 trailer loads of tires. You know, car tires, truck tires, just off in that curve. They may be some of the drainage that you can maybe go out there and detour to where that water won't just be running right beside the road and around and eroding it away. Might look at that and see, but I'd like to find out who's dumping the tires in there too. If anybody sees it, let me know. Yeah, really good. But that's all. Y'all doing a great job during these storms. I hope everybody stays safe and hope we don't get another 4 or 6 inches of rain myself. But I'm glad everybody's out and everybody got everything took care of. I appreciate it.
All right, everybody wish Rocky a happy birthday.
birthday.
He's,
Thank you.
what, 40 today? Yeah.
Mine's
Uh,
next Tuesday there,
Yeah,
Rocky.
Miss Gilbert's next Tuesday. Happy
Mine's
birthday to
tomorrow.
you. If there's nothing else, I'll have a motion to
I
adjourn.
make the motion that we adjourn, sir.
Get a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.